Hello. My hair is such a mess right now. Oh well, just mixing pre-workout. Yeah, I use a fork and a titty cup. So the last live I did, um, for some reason it was posted under private. That's why it wasn't accessible to anybody live, which was really embarrassing. Not like it was one of my best lives, but I've been trying to be consistent. And then the first week of school got me all up and all over the place. So excuses. Yeah. You'd think I'd take my pre-workout already. No. So interesting. I, as you can see by the title of this stream, video, live, whatever you want to call it, something that has come up in my studies, like a question with one of our readings was like, how do you know what is your truest self? Like, who is your truest self? Like, how do you know you're being true to yourself? Um, it got me thinking a lot about like the same, like, about like self love and stuff like that, and how we as humans, people, individuals, myself anyway, in my life, have been taught that loving yourself and um, like truly loving yourself and truly knowing who you are is like a destination that you'll finally get there. You'll finally know who you are and you'll finally love yourself. And I kind of realized over and over again, this is something I forget, that it's not you'll get there and it'll always be like that forever, ever, amen. Like, I'm not going to wake up one day and just love myself and never not love myself. I'm not gonna wake up one day and just be like, "Oh, I know who I am and I know everything about myself and that's just how it is and I'm never gonna question myself." That's not how it is. And that's not a bad thing. What I mean by that is loving yourself and figuring out who you are is a journey and it's like an everyday sort of endeavor that you go on. Once again, this is just what I think, and I think I wanna say I'm right, but I don't wanna say that because I don't have stuff lined up to be like, "I'm right, blah, blah." That's not what it is about. I'm not trying to be right here. But looking at it in this way has helped me, so I'm trying to help you, hopefully. Um, Looking at those 2 things as more of a action that I can do for myself, like a way to love myself is to work out because I find enjoyment in it and I find like I'm progressing in my life. I find um like I think it's a lot of it is progression when I see that I'm progressing when I'm doing things like at the gym or whatever. It helps me feel like I'm doing something with my life, which is super important to me and makes me feel content. Doing things that make you feel that way is a way to love yourself. Taking breaks. I know that seems to be something we're lacking, especially in the workplace. I remember one place I worked at, they tried to take our breaks away, and I was like, I don't know. Like, what? What? Yeah, you're going to work better. Really? No. Um, Taking breaks. It's all about balance. When we talk about finding our truest selves, like how do I find myself? How do I figure out what I'm good at? How are you going to figure out what you're good at if you never try anything? And I'm talking to myself here. Like I would always look at comparison is the thief of joy. I don't know if I'm putting like 2 quotes together, but it is because I'll always compare myself to someone else and see, oh my gosh, like Slash, the musician is the best like musician, like best like guitarist. Like I wish I could be that good at something, but then I'll still sit here and watch Netflix all day and but not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I will be depressed because I'm not, in my opinion, good at anything. So, how do we become good at things? How do we sorry, this went on a little tangent. How do we find things that create a sense of this is who I am? We have to go out. Not saying you leave your house. You don't like if you don't want to, it's fine. But we have some things like the internet. We have online schools, we have universities, we have people, friends, ways to figure out what we want to do, what we love doing, and in turn, figure out more about who we are. Um, the idea that there isn't like, I hate saying final destination because of the movies, but to think, for lack of better words, to think that there's no final destination on finding out who you are and like loving yourself, it just shows how limitless the possibilities of what you can do, what you can achieve, what you can create in your life. And me, I am very bad at finding the positive in things. So if I'm saying that it's a good thing and like it's like I'm finding ways to be positive, like it's worth it. I know. Why would you trust me? I'm just a random weirdo on the internet with cool hair, I gotta say. Um, yeah, it's mostly about what you do in your life that will create more of awareness of who you are, and it'll show you how like and it will be how you show yourself love, is doing what you love to do. In the story that we were reading for one of my readings in school, this young woman is conflicted because she goes to university and she's presented with this idea that she's a certain like she is a certain type of person and she has to be a certain type of way. She has to know how to do this. She has to know how to speak this language because she's been placed into this category, which categories are great. They help us understand and educate, yada yada yada. But at the same time, they can be very limiting and they can put a lot of pressure on an individual. I know when I first came out, um, I call myself queer because I feel like my toe is in every kind of thing. When I first came out as queer and non-binary, I felt relief and I felt like a sense of freedom and belonging and comfort. But then not too long after that, there were so many things that just overwhelmed me, and I felt like I had to look a certain way, I had to say certain things, I had to be a certain type of person in order to create more awareness of this community and all that stuff. And I think we don't realize how much pressure happens when that happens. But in going back to the story, she was expressing like these hardships and this like overwhelming feeling of turmoil and not knowing what to do. And um, I just kind of looked at that as well. Where was I going with this? Sorry, guys, one sec. She further on in her writing, she was explaining how she found people who were in similar groups as she was, and how she could empathize with their situation, with what they went through because she was going through the same thing. Um, and the advice that she got from them, that she took from their experience, was to just do things that you like. Obviously, if it's immoral, there's those things, yeah, the lines and whatnot. Um, but in order to be true to yourself, in order to love yourself, do things you want to do. And there was a question after asking, well, what if a friend of hers came up to her and said, like, asked if she wanted to be in this Latin American class to learn more about her culture and whatnot? Is that being true to herself? And the answer I kind of came up with and I thought about was, if she wants to do that and it brings her like good feelings or like excitement, like anything like that, then that is being true to herself because that's what she wants to do. If she doesn't want to do that and she forces herself to do it without any of those whatever, like it's probably not being true to what she really wants in her life and who she really is. I'm no expert, but it's just what I was thinking about. Hope this made sense, or at least there's like snippets where you're like, ah, it makes sense, and then it doesn't. Ah. That's just how I am. I am getting, yeah. I'm grateful because I'm now seeing a counselor at the university, and it's, you have no idea. Just if you can find a good therapist, go to counseling. Like if you're at school, like you utilize the benefits that you have to seek help because it's not readily accessible in the world. And I hope to one day to bring it more accessible. Let's hope. Much love. Thanks for your patience. I know it's been spotty, and I was about to not do this because I was like, I want to be more consistent. So I just did it. Okay. Much love. Have a good day, and I'll see you sometime next week. Bye. If I could end this.